Everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be continuing What If Naruto Was Full Uzumaki? So I last left this part off with the ending of Naruto and Karin's quote-unquote conversation. It was more or less like Naruto telling me, yeah. Anyway, I'm not gonna go back into that. Go watch the other video if you haven't watched it. If you have, welcome to this video. Anyway, so Naruto tells Karin that he's gonna stay down here for a while. And Karin, asks him, is he gonna stay down here the entire time? Is he gonna live down here now? And Naruto's like, no. I just need to be down here for a little bit longer. And she was like, define a little bit longer. And Naruto was like, just a couple of hours. And she was like, okay. And she leaves. And Naruto kind of he just sits down. And he's like, man, what the fuck, bro? How am I supposed to face everybody after this? And Kurama chimes in and he was like, well, if they're your friends, they would understand. But if they're not, they're just weak. And Naruto was like, so you can't just go, Naruto told the Nine Tails, you can't just go around saying that they're weak because they don't accept what I did. That's just you. And Nine Tails was like, yeah, whatever. He was like, anyway, I like how the only time I decide to talk to you, you completely, you just started berating me because what I said is true and what you're saying is wrong. And Naruto was like, bro, no, you're wrong. You're wrong. Just because they don't agree with me doesn't mean that they're against me. And Naruto was like, bro, I'm done talking to you. And when 30 minutes passed, and Naruto leaves the area, and he was like, bro, this is just how everything probably changed. They probably don't even thing probably runs different without me. They probably forgot all about me. It's been some months. And when Naruto gets back to his house, that is it looks the same from the outside. Naruto was like, well, at least that hasn't changed. And he goes inside and everything still looks the same. And he goes up to his room and no one's been in his room. Well, besides May, so there's a couple of clothing everywhere. Basically, it almost looks similar. And when everybody else gets back, holy shit, this blanket feels amazing. Um, when everyone gets back to Naruto's house, Naruto walks downstairs, and when Naruto, before everyone, they were busy, fixing up the village, and since Naruto knew that's what they were doing, and Naruto didn't want to show his face in the village right now, at this present moment in time, so what he did, he was like, maybe I can help them out with something. And Naruto cooked the only thing that he knew how to cook, which was ramen. So Naruto made a big old bowl, basically a pot of ramen. And he puts, this took several hours because the pot was huge. He put, the pot in the middle of the table, put some bowls and stuff around the pot, put chopsticks there. He put the stuff in the bowl. He put the noodles and stuff in the bowl, and he remembered what everyone liked on their things. So he made sure he had the toppings and stuff out. So when they all came home, Naruto basically was sitting, like he was sitting there basically just waiting on them. So, um, Zabuza was like, it smells awesome in here. And Naruto hits the corner and was like, yeah, I tried my best. And everyone, like, jumps, like, they lunge at Naruto. Like, hug, like, just hugs. No words, they were just hugs. And then Haku was like, so this looks good. I'm gonna eat. We should eat. And everyone sits down and like everybody was basically at like was like Naruto, this is good. And then like Kakashi was like, okay, Naruto. And Kakashi was like quiet this entire time. Kakashi and Zabuza were like quiet this entire time. Then they look over at Naruto and Naruto was like, yeah. And like Kakashi's like, Naruto, where were you? And Naruto was like, I don't know. And May was like, we looked everywhere, but we couldn't find you. You sure you don't know where you were? Naruto was like, the last thing I remember is like me getting told, well, was the incident. Anything past then, can't really tell you. And May was like, oh. And Kakashi and Zabuza were like, maybe he was in a state of shock, but still able to move around. And he was still in that state of shock up until a couple of hours ago. And Sasuke were like, either way it goes, Naruto, can we talk about how you ripped this man's eyes out his face? And Naruto's like, I don't even know what like he was like, oh yeah. And then Sakura chimes in and was like, better yet, no, can we talk about how he disintegrated some dude that was completely blind? Like, what was he gonna do, Naruto? Trying to find us? Like, and Kani looks at Sakura and was like, you do know that there is a such thing called a sensory ninja? And he could just sense our chakra? It's not that hard. And Hinata looks at Naruto and was like, bro, like, what the fuck? Like, better yet, Naruto, why were you gone and, like, only appeared after the fact? And right before Naruto could answer, some Abu member, like Hiruzen and some Abu members had appeared in front of Naruto's house. And Kakashi and not Danzo, fuck. The, Kakashi and Zabuza had sensed them, and Hiruzen knocks on the door and was like, it smells good in here. Can I come in? And May was like, yeah, sure, Lord Third. And Zabuza was like, well, what are you doing here? I didn't think you are going to come all the way out here just to eat. There are plenty capable chefs in your lineup, if I'm not mistaken. And Kakashi was like, yeah, that does raise the question. Why did you come here? And the third was like, wow, I can't just come here to eat. Someone told me it smelled good, so I came. And I heard Naruto was back. And like 30 minutes passed, and it was like just awkward eating. And then Hiruzen was like, well, time to get to business, I guess. Naruto, we need you to come back. Like, we need you to come with us. Like, some Abu member just randomly appears. And Kakashi was like, what do you mean? And the Abu members basically like tell Naruto, like tell them, like, this isn't none of their concern. They're just ninja. You only need to be concerned with your missions. That's it. And Sasuke was like, says the person that hides behind a mask his entire life. And the Abu member chimes in and was like, why, you want to go? And Sasuke activates his Mangekyo and was like, I've been ready. And Kakashi was like, well, what's going on here? And he basically informs Zabuza and Kakashi of what they did, but he says it in front of everybody, so everybody in that entire, like, in that room is basically pissed because they took advantage of a emotionally beaten Naruto. So, like, they're Naruto, even Naruto himself is pretty mad. So, like, Naruto's like, you took advantage of the emotional state that I was in to turn me into a weapon. So you took me and hid me away from my friends, all because you thought I was getting too strong, because you and the council were afraid. You know what? I think it's about time this village fell under some new rain. Like, under a new leader. And the Ambo member was like, what's that supposed to mean? And Kadin chimes in and was like, well, I think you know exactly what that means. And Sasuke was like, well, obviously it means what I think it means. So clearly a coup, right, Naruto? Naruto smirks and acted like goes into his false KCM mode and was like, you already know it. And before Hiruzen could do anything, but this is the third Hokage. But at the same time, Hiruzen is how old now? And I'm not finna have them like have this elongated ass fight because Hiruzen wants to activate every jutsu in this fucking arsenal. So before Hiruzen could do anything, Zabuza, being a rogue shinobi, and the only reason why, well, not a rogue shinobi, but being a shinobi, and the only reason why he stayed along was because of Naruto, was activated his blood mist, like his ability. And hold on. So then, like, after Zabuza activates his blood mist, Naruto goes behind Hiruzen and was like, we can do this the easy way. We could do this the hard way. And Hiruzen not wanting to do anything, because at this point in time, Hiruzen already knows what he did was wrong. So instead of, like, fighting him off and wasting every Anbu member and leave Shinobi out there, he buckles and he's like, fine. And Naruto like, oh, this is awesome. No bloodshed. And Sasuke basically was like, but what about that one? He definitely he was talking the stuff. Naruto's like, leave him. He'll probably be useful later on. And as like the come morning, every Leaf Shinobi was summoned, and every person in the village that was still alive. Well, it wasn't that big of a fight, and they barely got into the village as it is, so a lot of people were still alive. But basically, Naruto. um, Update on Obito's eyes. Kakashi does have them in, but he can also change his eyes back to what's the face, black. So he has the Sharingan, the Mangekyo. So yeah. So yeah. Um Not like so I come the morning, everyone gets up and they're going to the meeting area where the Hokage was supposed to be addressing some big news. And the Hiruzen goes up there and he's like, there's some news. It's very important, and I want you all to know that this is important to the Leaf Village and important in the way that, well, this would affect everyone in the village in certain ways. And like everyone in the village was like, why is he like just acting like this? Why isn't he acting normal? And Naruto was like, well, hurry down. And he was like, I'm relinquishing power over to Naruto Uzumaki. And the elders were like, wait, what? You can't do that. That's not, he's still a kid, a teenager. And Naruto looks over there at him and was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Sasuke, do you mind? And Sasuke goes over there and he kills the elders. And like the villagers, because they just seen Naruto's like little group kill people. And Naruto's like, oh yes, yes. We have the Nine Tails as the Hokage. He has the last remaining Uchiha as his side, as one of his people, one of his close subordinates. We have one of the last remaining Uzumakis as his close subordinate. We have a Hyuga. We have one of the Blood Mist swordsmen on my side. We also have, well, a Konoichi, referring to Sakura. And Sakura was like, where's my praise? Like, where's my praise at? And Naruto was like, don't worry, we're gonna lead this village in the right path. And the Leaf Shinobi was like, what if we don't want you to be leader? And Naruto was like, either you can let me be leader, or you can leave, or you can think about leaving, and my team is just gonna my friends here are just gonna hunt you down. And Sasuke, because Sasuke is still a genuinely dark person. So Sasuke chimes in and was like, if anyone wants to leave, I'll hunt them down myself. And he activates his Mangekyo, and he was like, and when I find you, if you're not useful, you'll die. But but if you choose to stay in the village and follow the set rules that are going to be in place, like for instance, no harassing children that they had nothing to do with in the past, like when they were born, if their mothers died, or they also just so happen to be the Jinchuriki, harassing them and helping everyone and plotting on them, and no using people when they're mostly damaged, will be fine. Everything in the village will be fine. Our shinobi are gonna have to train a lot more, but it'll be fine. And Naruto, like he walks away, and he was like, "Have fun, my people." And he vanishes, and when he appears into the Hokage's office, like Naruto puts his feet up, and Kakashi was like, Naruto, although you may be Hokage, and although you may have just committed, you may look like a tyrant now, you still have like duties. And Naruto was like, oh yeah, that's right. And Naruto's like, who's gonna be my secretary though? And May was like, I will. And Naruto was like, sure, why not? And May basically, like, getting, access to everything. It took May like 2 hours or so to find out where everything was going to be, how it needs to go down. But right now, let me give you the places that all of Naruto's friends are in. So, Karin and Sakura are both healing medics, as in they train the they're retraining all the Konoichi that were already medics in like squads. Sasuke, Zabuza, and Kakashi all are like basically what happens is instead of them going through a school program, they get trained like the kids and the people that are already joining and stuff. They're getting retrained by Naruto's group. And Kakashi, Zabuza, and Sasuke are all Naruto's generals, and so is Karin and Sakura. But yeah, definitely think I felt like I said Sakura and another part. But yeah, those are their roles. Sasuke, Zabuza, Kakashi, they're all training like the attack formations, everything like that. And yeah, and Naruto like puts together. He handpicks his advisors. Like he picks um not what's the dude's name? Forgot his name, but he's like, this is such a drag. I'll probably remember it later down the lines. But yeah, he selected him, Hinata. Um, he selected him, Hinata, and I'm gonna say um I'm gonna say Kiba, cause it's Kiba. He's not gonna be relevant, but anyway. So yeah, Naruto like he picked out his advisors. His advisors get the message from the Yabo members, and they start headed toward the Hokage's office. When they get there, Naruto was like, wrong photo. Naruto was like, yeah, let's get to work. And Naruto was like, May, we have to set up a summit with the other Kages. And May was like, yeah, I'll get on it. Who do you want to go and ask them this? And tell them this? And Naruto was like, who's the most protected? Send Zabuza and Haku. Send Zabuza and Haku. And May was like, okay, sure. And Zabuza and Haku get the message, and they immediately leave. Like, they immediately set out. And this is where I'm gonna end this part off. I know this one was kind of like stupid, basically, but yeah. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. And anyway, this has been Shinobi. Peace out.